Well, howdy, folks. It's time for Beyond the Smoke Barbecue Talk. So grab your drink of choice and come gather around the fire as we talk all things Beyond the Smoke. Featuring pitmaster chats from all your favorite names in barbecue. We chat about competitions, pits, meats, and everything in between. From barbecue to grilling, from trimming to smoking, we got you covered. Got questions? Let us know. We're always happy to hear from you. Thanks for coming, friend. We're glad you're here. Now sit back, relax, and let's talk some barbecue. It's time to go Beyond the Smoke.
What's up, fellas?
We're back.
We're back. What's up, boys?
Made it back.
Oh, man. Running around, dealing with stuff.
I hear you. What's up, Chase?
Yeah. Dealing with trailer issues, finding trailer issues, spending money, everything in between.
Yeah.
Shit. Money's been burnt.
What's up, Kevin?
Been burnt, man.
I enjoyed it this weekend, man.
What's up, Kevin? Yeah. Good weekend, huh? Y'all went out.
Yeah. Went out, had a good time. That's a fun contest.
How was the weather up there in Fort Davis?
Hot.
Really? It wasn't that bad last
hot.
year, was it? No shit.
It was about as bad as last year. Probably a little more humid this year.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they got a lot of rain up there, so but man, it looked like there was quite a bit of people out there, and looked like a good contest for sure, man. Congratulations to Jennifer.
60 teams strong this year, so
yeah.
Fucking people everywhere.
man, everywhere.
So it was more than last year?
Where we were at. Yeah, it was
more than last year. Really?
Because I think she kept it at 50 last year. And then I think like 45 made it, 47.
There's a lot of locals, like people walking around and stuff, so I imagine
yeah.
like it was last year.
Yeah, I was back over by the stage and I kept getting people, so are you selling barbecue? No. Well, what's the point of a barbecue contest? I don't know what to tell you. That'd just be something else I got to
go judge.
That's why I told her, like,
go judge.
Man, I had an old man come up and he was like, so are y'all selling barbecue? I was like, no, sir. I said, but if you go down there by the firehouse, there's vendors up there they'll be selling barbecue. I said, or, you can go judge. I said, it's free to judge. And he was like, so you mean to tell me y'all are barbecuing, but y'all aren't selling any barbecue? I was like, you son of a bitch.
Hey, you should have said, sure, I'll sell you some.
I would have sold him that brisket for $200.
There you go. Make your money back.
There you go.
Yeah,
sir.
I know, Kevin. But there's always going to be next year, man. Always next year. And you, Kyle, how'd your cook go?
What's that?
How'd your cook go?
Anyway, good. Fucking generator kept fucking dying, dude. It was 100 degrees out there almost, and generator kept dying. Fucking it was hot, but it went pretty good, man.
Yeah.
That's our second full cook on drum, so we finished mid pack.
Yeah.
Keep on rolling them, see how we can do. See if we can get better on them drums.
Yeah. Cool, man. $20 a slice. There you go.
Yes. Might do that next time.
Oh shit!
What's up, AJ? Yeah, man, it was hot. My AC kept freezing up on me too.
Yeah. Well, speaking of ACs, if I have to jet out for a little bit, I'll probably go out there. I've been having some issues with the trailer and finding some little things here and there, but trailer's coming along. I'm going to have to make some adjustments to the trailer itself. I've always had issues with clearance. My trailer's always been real low profile. And after we put that black water tank on there, it's sitting real low to the ground, dude. Like, fuck, real low, like scary low. I'm not dragging right now, but I did find that the Torflex, I believe that's the maker of that axle. They have a lift kit for it, so I'm gonna have to install the lift kit on it. It's gonna give me about another close to 3 inches worth of clearance. So on top.
That's why you bought it, right? You bought it because you're from South Texas and you wanted it to sit low to the
fucking
ground.
low rider. Freaking low rider.
You want to lift it back up or what?
Jeez, dude, I'm telling you, man. Fucking, and that's what I was.
Right around Odessa, and that's real smart.
Yeah, that's what I was telling our guests before we came on. Is it's weird, talking about small business, starting a business or whatever, and people think you just go start cooking, right? Well, when you don't have the money that or shit just given to you, you know what I mean. You got to build it yourself and get everything going together. It's every little thing matters, dude. From the fucking screw on the wall to everything. Yep. So, and then having to deal with other people, other vendors, is just it's another a whole other level for sure, man. But
oh yeah,
like Cheech and Chong style, Colin said.
Yeah.
But man, it's kind of what's fun about it though is it sucks taking the time, but piecing it together and making sure it's exactly how you want it.
Yeah, dude, I just want it to work, and not fucking fall off in the middle of the road.
Fuck, we know Serge better than that. He'll get it perfectly built how he wants it, and then it won't be good enough. He'll want something bigger and better, and he forgot something. Yeah,
I'm already there, dude. I'm already there. But like I said, everything's been planned for a couple years, and everything that I've done has been strategic. Like I'm not just throwing shit. This has been in the works for about 2020 is when I actually started planning everything out, and it's just I could see the end of the tunnel, but it's just like there's fucking rocks falling in front of me. But once I get past it, should be good.
Yeah,
should be good to go. So Daniel did damn good this weekend. Daniel knows how to cook Fort Stockton. What did he end up, 3rd overall?
Hey, and that's because he cooked on an offset too.
And he was he was all crippled up and shit.
Crippled and on a new pit.
Yeah.
And still whooped our ass.
Hey, Carl. Well, Kyle, why don't you introduce our guest, dude? Let's bring him in.
Yeah. We got Smokin Willy T over here. Boy cooks all over the place. He's out by Houston. Yeah, bring him on. Let's talk. I want to get to know some of his stuff. I think he's gonna be able to give us some advice, at least for you, for running restaurants and stuff. So I'm excited to see what he's got to talk about.
Let's do it. Let's bring him in. Smokin Willy T.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
What's up, dude? Hey, thanks for coming on, man.
Oh man,
So
no
and
problem,
on
man.
a short notice too.
Thanks for having me, man.
Oh
Appreciate
no,
it.
dude! I've been meaning to contact you and get you on the show, and I'm like, man, our secret guest has been not eluding us, but you can understand how busy he's been
Yeah.
within the past couple of weeks. So he kept telling me like, man, I'm not gonna be able to make it, blah blah blah. And I'm like, fuck. It's like, well, when can you come on? And he gave me a date, and I'm like, okay, well, we'll do that one. And I was like, man, who's gonna fill in for this one? Smokin Willy. For sure, man. Let's do it. So that's when I contacted you, and you're like, yeah, let's fucking do it.
You know how it is, man. When the list comes out and you're the top 50, you're lucky. I'm 4,499. So yeah.
There you go. There you go. Willie tells me, no, man, I got plenty of time. No, dude. But how's it going with you, dude?
Doing good, man. Just living the dream, dude.
Yeah. Every day, hustling.
Yeah, every day. People don't realize how much of a struggle it is sometimes doing what we do, man. And the passion that you have. Everybody wants that title of a pitmaster, but nobody wants to do the fucking work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So getting up early in the morning, getting those fires lit, especially like here in Houston where it's hot as hell. Getting that and getting meat trimmed and getting it all out, onto the pits, getting ready for service, man. It just takes time. And, you just gotta, it's a love, bro. I mean, that's all I can tell anybody. Anybody that's stupid to get in the barbecue game, man, they just have to have a love for it.
Yeah, no shit. That's what I tell myself all the time here lately. So am I fucking stupid or what, dude?
Yeah, because it's either an expensive hobby or you're just stupid. Yeah.
Yeah,
a lot of both.
Yeah, a little bit of both.
Yeah, a little bit of both, dude. But once you get that bite, it's kind of hard to get rid of it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Hey, whenever you get that first walk, especially in the competition world, man, you want it again and again and again. So that's what hooked me. Getting those walks.
Yeah. So how did you get started, Willie?
Man, I got started literally, dude, back in I would say 2011 ish. I had been barbecuing before then. I was on competition teams back then in the day, just while I was out of high school, joining some teams, and it was just a way to get out of work for 3 days and get all fucked up, and it got to the point where, my life kind of started getting out of control. And, somebody told me, they're like, man, you're pretty good at what you do. Why don't you pursue it a little bit more? And, luckily I was able to meet Robert Smith with First Class Barbecue. Back then he was with Crazy Cookers, and he was with Pits and Spits, and he took me under his wing, man, and showed me a lot about competition cooking. Well, back then he wasn't winning a lot either. He was still young in the game, but he took me under his wing, and he broke off from Pits and Spits and started First Class Barbecue, which is doing now. And I ended up going Victor and George with Pitmaker. And once I got in with Pitmaker, man, they took my barbecue like to the next level, because they showed me how to infuse flavors and layer flavors. And he's like, man, we're Mexican, man. We need to learn. So I mean, they taught me a lot of good stuff, man. I owe a lot of my success to Victor, Julio, and George, man, from Pitmaker.
Awesome.
For everything that they've done for me. But
nice.
Yeah, like I said, I got to a point in my life where I was holding a gun to my head because I wanted to end my life, man. And barbecue was just something. It was a therapy for me, man. And I like pursued it and learned everything I could, and just I've always wanted to like take it up to the next level, do something better. And dude, had I known that barbecue would have been a career for me back then, dude, I would have done this a long time ago.
Yeah. There's something therapeutic about hearing that crackle of the fire, and when you open up a pit and you just get hit in the face with a fucking big ass cloud of dirty smoke. You know what I mean? It's like it does something, dude. Sometimes I just sit out there and just watch the fire, and the next thing you know, 10, 15 minutes has been passed, and it's like, all right, next on to the next thing. So
yeah, and a lot of people they don't know. When they first start, I always tell people you're gonna fuck up more briskets when you first start than once you start doing it for, after you get to like maybe the 100 brisket, then you're basically kind of know what you're doing by then. But I messed up a lot of briskets before I got to where I'm at right now, man. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. What kind of beef do you like cooking? I mean, are y'all cooking it over there?
Well, right now, dude, I actually got turned on to this one brisket. It's from Greater Omaha, the upper 2/3 choice. Dude, that brisket is beautiful. And I get a lot of the vendors that try to get me to cook their briskets. Hey, try this one, try that one. But man, the end product that I'm getting with the Greater Omahas, man, I can't compare it with anything else.
Nice. What's your opinion on prime versus upper 2/3?
Dude, a lot of people don't even know, man. There's really no difference, man. I mean, when they grade that carcass, they grade that one ribeye, and out of that one ribeye is going to tell you whether or not that brisket is, a choice or it's a prime, so it's like, it might just be a little off, but you still have the characteristics of a prime. So a lot of the upper 2/3, they may be choice, but they still have prime, man. And it's just knowing what you're looking for whenever you're picking a brisket, man. I don't think people understand that part.
Right.
Because you can have that one ribeye that will be choice, but man, a lot of the meat on that will be prime.
Yeah. And then I've seen a lot of these other restaurant people. A lot of them are doing, those upper 2/3, and of course a lot of them just still do primes and stuff. But well,
yeah, if you're $1 million restaurant and you have that money to spend on a whole prime, that's what you're gonna do. But little guys like us, we got to take the scraps or whatever we can get and turn them into gold. So you learn how to play with what you got.
Yeah. And that, I mean, as far as like me goes, I mean, that's not hard. I mean, I got turned on cooking choice a while back, and then I prefer a choice, honestly. I mean, as far as just a regular, if you're not doing no competition or whatever, but I mean, if you're going to cook a choice for, a catering or just where somebody wants a brisket, man, you can't go wrong with it for sure.
Bro, a lot of people don't know the difference between barbecue, man. I mean, you could give them a choice or you could give them prime, but what's the first thing they're going to fucking do when they get that brisket? They're going to drown that shit in barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
Where I working at a restaurant, I might cook some good prime brisket, man, but the customer will ruin it right away with barbecue sauce. And that's because they don't know what they're looking for, man. And I think every restaurant out there deals with that kind of stuff. You got those fanatics that come out there and they know what cuts of meat are and what they're getting, but a majority of customers and consumers out there don't even know, what they're eating really, man. You ask a lot of people, what's a good barbecue restaurant, and of course they're gonna say Buc-ee's or HEB or Papa's, those big barbecue chains, because that's what they're used to.
Right.
Opposed to going to a craft barbecue place like Burnt Bean or 2M or GW's or somewhere like that that's cooking that craft barbecue. But even those customers are gonna drown their briskets in barbecue sauce.
Yeah. Are you a sauce guy or no sauce guy?
I prefer no sauce. Competition, whenever I do competition, I do sauce because that's what they look for. But I prefer not having sauce. If you're doing a good brisket and you're having a sauce, you're just hiding something that you fucked up. Basically, is how I take it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a sauce guy. I mean, I'm not afraid to admit it, but I don't like drown it. You know what I mean? It's got to complement. It's got to complement. You know what I mean? Not like it's super sweet or if you have a peppery sauce that goes on brisket, and I know what sauces go on what, right? So if it's good, I'm not gonna put a sweet sauce on a brisket, first of all. But a little dab here and there to just complement it. I don't see nothing wrong with it, honestly.
No, neither do I. I mean, it's okay to have some sauce to complement it, but not drown it.
Yeah. What about you, Kyle?
Barbecue sauce? I think kind of depends on what you're eating, where you're eating at, but I don't know. I kind of like a vinegar-based barbecue sauce. I'll put that shit on just about everything. I mean, I don't drown it, but I mean, I'll put a little bit on the end of a piece of brisket or something and eat it just to add a little bit of a different flavor to it. To be honest with you, whenever we go anywhere anymore, we've been to so many fucking barbecue joints in Texas that I don't even hardly order fucking brisket anyways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I fucking order. I order more sides than I order fucking meats anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I want to try the sides. Fuck the meat. Everybody makes a fucking brisket. Some are good, some are bad. Give me the fucking sides. I want to see what the corn's all about and the coleslaw and all that other shit.
Yeah, I go for the oddball stuff. Like I went to La Cruda yesterday in in Crosby, and they had some brisket chilaquiles, and they had pork belly waffles, and they were really good, man. So I like going for those odd end things, man. Brisket, ribs, and all that stuff that I cook every day. I don't want to eat it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
That's. I was telling Serge that like Leroy and Lewis is one of my favorite places in Texas to eat. Just because they take barbecue, they take regular ass barbecue. They're cooking on offsets, but they do something different with the barbecue, right? You can get a slice of brisket if you want, but I mean 9 times out of 10 they don't even have fucking brisket. They got something else. They're running pork shoulders or brisket. I mean something different than brisket, and they just mix it all up and they make crazy ass fucking hamburgers out of it and all kinds of just off the wall fucking shit. And it's fucking amazing, dude. Right?
Oh yeah. And I think that's what a lot of barbecue places are doing now. They're diverting their menus to different things, instead of just the Trinity, you put other things on the menu, you get more customers walking in the door. And right now a lot of places are struggling because of the economy, and the prices of meat. So you want to try to keep the customers coming back. So why not offer something different?
Yeah. What do you think the average person is looking for whenever they stop at a place? You know what I mean? Are they looking for that slice of brisket, or are they looking for something that's more affordable, or what do you think?
I don't. Affordability is probably the most thing that they're looking for. But if you're going to a place, that's ranked up there in the 10, you're gonna pay that money. You're gonna go up there and spend $200 on a meal. It's just people want convenience, they want quality, and then they want affordability. That's what people want. They don't want to spend all that money, but they want something good. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Let's see.
So what do you think, Willie? Give us a little insight on what you think it takes for Serge or somebody, to get a food truck or barbecue truck running. What do you think that the grind looks like to be able to do that?
I mean, finding the right clientele in your area is going to be your biggest thing. Seeing what's around you, who's around you. Somewhere like here in Houston, it's saturated, man. There's a barbecue spot everywhere. And it's hard if you don't have the name recognition out there. You don't have Daniel Vaughn coming into your restaurant, putting you on a list. People listen to that guy. It's like they designated him the barbecue god, and they do whatever he says, man. He'll tell people to eat a piece of shit, they'll eat it. It's just that it's really hard, and you have to find that. You have to find that common ground of what do you want? What kind of clients do you want? Do you want those customers that are, wrapping around the building, or do you want, to sell to people that are going to come back all the time? For me, if it was easy, I'd have my own food truck, and I'd want to cater to the people that really just want to come out and have a nice meal, rather than the people that are waiting in line for an hour or two. In this state, it's just too hot to be standing in line for an hour for barbecue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. I saw a post. I don't know if you had made it or somebody made it, but it said, you know, having these food, what the hell you call them, reviewers or whatever come in. Would you rather have something like that, like, you know, give a damn good review? I mean, yeah, it's going to help, or just the average person, you know, stopping by and you see the look on their face when they take a bite of a rib and say, "Holy shit," you know what I mean? What would mean more, you know? Because you got to remember that these social media people, are they doing it for their social media presence? You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're doing it for likes. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
You have people. Everybody thinks they're a damn critic. You know, they watch a couple of fucking episodes of barbecue pitmasters and all this shit, and they think they're critics. You know, they think they know what barbecue's supposed to taste like, but a majority of them don't know nothing. You know, they're in it for the followers. They want, you know, the recognition and all this stuff like that. I had a customer come into the restaurant, and he said that he had the mac and cheese, and the mac and cheese was awful, and he wanted another side. You know, he brings back the container, it's all gone, and he ate half the mac and cheese, and he wants another side. So what does he do? He puts a bad review on us, you know. But that day, another customer came in and did a review and said the barbecue was phenomenal. It was good, you know. And I started looking into it, and I looked, and this guy that did the bad review never wrote a review, and you know, he had no reviews. The guy who wrote the good review had 59 reviews. So who are you going to listen to? So I tried to explain that to my boss, you know, like, hey man, you know, this guy, he just wanted something free, and he wanted to be a dick, and he wants to post something bad about us, you know. And it's sad because it hurts us, because people are going to listen to that and think that we're doing bad. But the reality is, like you said, man, everybody wants to be a critic. Everybody wants to judge, and they don't even know what they're looking for. They don't even know what they want.
Right.
The hard thing about listening to critics of any sort, right, or people writing, you know, blogs or whatever on fucking barbecues, everybody likes something different, right? So what Serge may say is good, I may not like that much, right?
Exactly.
I may like something a little bit better, and vice versa, right? So,
and that takes you just like into competition. You know, we're all competing against each other, but there's going to be somebody posted, you know, they went to a competition and they gave them all 10s. Every judge gave them a 10, except for one judge gave them all 5s. You know, so it's like, what prompted that one judge to give them 5s? When everybody else gave them 10s. So everybody's taste and everybody's flavor profile is always going to be different, man. That's how I see it.
Yeah. So all you can really do is just do your own thing and you know, whatever.
Yeah. And you know, don't argue with the customer. If the customer tells you got bad brisket, he wants some more, just give him some fucking more brisket, you know, because 9 times out of 10, you know, if you tell that customer no, and you're thinking about, oh, I'm going to lose a couple of dollars on this plate, then they're going to write a bad review on you. And it just takes one bad review. And then that person tells another 10 people. And then next thing you know, your reputation is shit, you know, because you didn't want to give this guy brisket, you know. So I learned to, you know, if a customer comes up and says, hey, this rib doesn't taste good, you know what, I'll give you another rib, you know, try this one, you know. If that one don't taste good, then it's something, go buy ribs at Buc-ee's or something, you know.
Yeah, go to Dickies. Go to Dickies. So, what do you got? Right. Well, let's talk about, y'all just got back from freaking Australia, huh? How'd that go?
Oh yeah, dude. We went to Meat Stock, man. I had the opportunity to go to Meat Stock with Bill Dumas and Ernest Cervantes and David Kirkland and the guys over there, Cy and Jay at Meat Stock invited us out, man. It was awesome, dude. It was an awesome journey over there, man.
Yeah. Is that the first time you had been out there? Yeah,
and the first time in Australia. And you know what? The toilet does flush. The water does go the other way around.
He says, I made sure to look.
Oh, yeah. Well, Bill Dumas and Ernest Cervantes did a test on it, and we posted a video about it. It was so funny.
Oh man! So how did Meat Stock go? What's all that about?
Oh man, Meat Stock is one of Australia's biggest barbecue festivals that they have, man. I mean, they have all these guys that come in from all over the country, set up these huge pit. Fat Boys has the world's largest smoker, man, bigger than the one that's over there in Burnham. This fucker is huge. So they go out there and they have this festival, have a concert. We actually work the fire stage where like VIPs buy an extra ticket and they get to go and sample all the food before the public gets there. And I mean, it was just an awesome time, man. So many people there. I mean, it made Texas Monthly look like a little market festival, dude.
Yeah. But I know. I keep hearing and seeing, barbecues in Australia is like, it's getting big.
Yeah.
Do they do a lot of? Is Texas barbecue influenced? What's the influence like over there?
Yeah, it's Texas influenced barbecue. I mean, these guys are not cooking open flame anymore. They're cooking on full blown smokers now. Carolina Smokers, I believe it is a company that was from Carolina. Went over there. They now produce, Texas, United States grade smokers over there in Australia, and I mean they're awesome pits, dude. I mean, same thing that we have here. They got it over there, and I mean they want to learn everything like us. Texas is the mecca of barbecue for a lot of the countries that I go to. And they want to do it just like we do.
Yeah. So did you do some teaching up there or just straight cooking?
Straight cooking. I was with Bill. We were actually on one of the stages where they have butcher wars, and Bill did a sausage demonstration. So I was able to go up there. I traveled a lot everywhere with Bill, and every time he needs help, I give him a hand. So I kind of know his whole sausage routine of how to grind, case, season, do all that stuff, and link sausage. So I give him a hand every time I get a chance.
Nice. How'd y'all keep that meat cold for the sausages demo?
We actually had they had reefer trucks that were on site that kept everything cold. Yeah, we had a big reefer refrigerator truck that kept all our proteins cold for us.
Nice.
How does meat stock work? Is it like a competition or just you guys are just hanging out and cooking?
It's just the festival. Meat stock is pretty much. Oh, they did have a competition. SCA was out there, so it was an SCA sanctioned competition. So they did have a section of the park blocked off for competition cooks.
Okay.
Yeah, most of the competition internationally that I go to, they do have either SEA or WBQA sanction it. So there's always competitions going on. When I went to England last year to Malden for the Smokin Fire Festival, that was also an SEA sanctioned event. So they do have the competitions out there going on too.
Yeah, and you talk about people liking different flavors and shit. Could you imagine flying over to? I couldn't imagine flying over to over there and cooking a Texas style brisket that I like with the kind of flavors that I generally run. I mean, their taste buds are probably completely different over in Australia than they are.
Oh man, their taste buds are different everywhere. I'll tell you, I'll tell you this. I went to Sweden to cook with Morgan, with Lyndon and Dell, and we did the competition out there. That was a WBQA competition, and he had me do the pork. So, I did the pork just like I would do pork for KCBS, the money muscle, chunk, and shred. And I was already putting it into the box, and Morgan is like, man, it needs more salt. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's perfect, man. He's like, it needs more salt. And I was like, oh, shit, man. So I threw a whole bunch of salt on it, and I ended up taking 4th place pork over there. But in Sweden, they like salt, that they salt a lot of their meats in the winter. So they're used to that salt content. So, I mean, it was good. We did really well. It was good enough to give us a reserve grand champion for the Sweden Nordic Championship there.
Oh, hell yeah.
Nice. So over there in Australia, there's locally sourced protein? Or did
they locally source everything out there. I mean, we had I had kangaroo meat. That shit was kangaroo meat tastes like liver. Yeah, it tastes just like liver. To me, it just has that gamey liver flavor. I had crocodile on pizza. I think Bill had like some wombat or some weird shit.
Some koala bear.
Yeah, shit. If I know Bill, he would try to stick it in a sausage.
Yeah, no shit. Put a little pouch on that sausage and stick another one in there.
He did actually a real good sausage out there in Australia that really attracted a lot of people. He had a peach cobbler sausage with whipped cream and the Jack Daniels reduction and walnuts, and man, it was so good.
Wow, that's awesome.
Dude's a master of his craft, that's for damn sure.
Yeah, he is, man. I mean, that guy there could put anything in a sausage, really.
Fucking In-N-Out burger and everything.
Yeah, In-N-Out. He did the Thanksgiving sausage with the whole Thanksgiving meal in the sausage. And when we were in Mexico, in Puebla, he did chaquitana sausage, the ant larvae sausage.
Oh wow!
Yeah. He does some weird stuff.
Well, what's the most unique one that you've had of his?
It would be the ant larvae sausage.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, it was good. You can't really taste it when whenever he formulates it, it's gonna have that pork base, but once he grinds up the eggs in there, you can't really taste it. But that's just for a lot of people like ant eggs,
that's crazy, dude.
Yeah, it sounds a little funky to me for sure.
Oh no, you know what? I did have and he did in England when we went to the Smoke and Fire Festival. He did pigeon sausage.
Wow.
Yeah, because in England they eat a lot of pigeon. It's called squaw, and he had some guys actually go out there, shoot some fresh pigeon, and then he made sausage out of it.
That's crazy, dude.
And pigeon is really good. It tastes like steak.
No shit.
Yeah. Pigeon breast tastes like steak, man. It's good.
Well, that's like what the hell is it? The gray, what's that bird called? They call it ribeye in the sky. It's the gray
the sandhill fucking
sandhill crane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So we cooked that at the Daniels over here. My boss did, and they had a fresh kill of a sandhill crane, and man, that stuff is pretty decent. This stuff was pretty good, man.
Dude, you can't knock it until you try it. I tell everybody that, man. I mean, I've had so much different shit all over the world, and I can't knock it until I try it, man. I can either just taste it and not like it, or taste it and be like, wow, this is good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so my VP of the company, he's never cooked competition ever. So he was like, man, I'm going to do this. And he had an idea of doing the Sandhill Crane empanadas. And I put a little competition spin on it, kind of finished them up. But dude, for his first time doing it, those little empanadas were fire. And he ended up with the 6th place out of 102 or something like that. He was all stoked about it. I'm like, man, that's just the way it goes, you got to finish it. It's not so much just the empanada. He just wanted to throw them in the box. And then I'm like, nah, I said, let's do a little bit more to it. So I glazed them and I put some finishing dust on them and put some other finishing dust on the bottom of it. So kind of had the idea of whenever the judge takes a bite, the first thing that's going to hit is the tongue. So I kind of caked it on the bottom with some white lightning. I put white lightning on it, and shit ended up with the 6th place, so not too bad.
Yeah, you notice, like, if you ever do a WBQA competition, they give you a mystery box category. So it's whatever's in the box is what you have to cook. So when we were in Sweden, we did the mystery box, and our mystery box was sea cucumber. And I was like, holy fuck, what the hell? What do we do with this sea cucumber? So I ended up calling Ronnie Killen, and I was like, hey, Killen, I said, I got this sea cucumber. What can I do with it? And he right away gives me a recipe and tells me what to do. And we ended up doing sea cucumber tacos. And I think we took 5th place on that, man. But it's just weird.
Yeah.
I remember doing a competition with Johnny Dunn, and he did Brahma bull hump. And man, that's a rich ass piece of meat right there.
Wow. I don't even know where you would get something like that.
Oh, they have them out there, man. Believe me.
Jeez.
Let me ask you a question. I've been thinking about this a lot. I was watching a show the other day, made me think about it, barbecue show. Do you think pit masters are chefs? Do you think there's a big difference between a chef and a pit master?
There is, man. The difference between a chef is their assholes. The difference between the pitmaster is we fucking know what we're doing. Yeah, now there is a different. There's a distinct difference between a chef and a pitmaster, man. A pitmaster is this not a skill that you go to school for. It takes years of experience and doing it over and over to learn how to be a pitmaster. Chefs go to school. I used to argue with a chef that I was with all the time, man. I was like, dude, all you fucking know how to do is make sauces. Go make fucking sauces, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a distinct difference, in my opinion, between a chef and a pitmaster.
That's funny. All you know how to do is make sauces.
Yeah, he got kind of pissed off when I told him that.
So I just bought a trailer and it's got a pitmaker sniper in it, and then Tyler's trying to run. I think he's running a sniper and a vault maybe tomorrow. You got some tips and tricks on those pitmakers? Oh
man, yeah. If you wanna cook a brisket in 6 hours, hot and fast on the vault. The vault. The vault. I can do briskets in 6 hours on the vault. And it's just regulating your heat. You know they don't need a lot of fuel down there, and once you get those things up to temp and get those walls heated up, they keep that heat inside of them for hours, man. I usually run my briskets about 275, and I'll leave them in there until I see the color of the bark where I want it to be. I don't usually wait until they hit that 165, 170 mark. Once I see my bark the way I want it, then I'll wrap them, and then I'll typically jump it up to about 300 and then let them finish off right there. I kind of do them, I used to work at Laurel, so I kind of do them old Franklin style, and I'll let them hit about 207, 210. And then what I'll do is I'll take the briskets and I'll put them in sheet racks and just put them on a tray, and I'll drop that temperature back down to they hit about 140. Once they hit 140, it takes about 2 hours. Once it hits 140, then they're already, the collagen's already falling apart, and then I'll stick them in a warmer and let them rest overnight on the warmer, and they usually come out perfect all the time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, you don't wrap them whenever they're done? You don't wrap them back up with tinfoil, or what do you wrap them?
No, I wrap them in butcher paper. So I mean, people, everybody has their different techniques of how to do the briskets. So I see the boat method, wrapping with foil, wrapping with butcher paper. I like wrapping with butcher paper because it still allows the brisket to breathe. If you wrap it in foil and you got a nice bark on it, sometimes you'll just bake that bark off. So yeah, I whenever I do wrap them, like if I'm gonna hold them sometimes overnight, if I need them, what I'll do is I'll leave them in the butcher paper, and then I'll just wrap them in cellophane. That way it keeps that moisture in them, and that seems to work for me.
Shit, there's guys out there now doing no wraps anymore now.
Yeah. A Brisket U actually does that. They have some classes at our facility, and they come out and they cook their briskets all the way, and they actually cook them on a vault. So they'll leave them ride all the way until they hit 210, and they actually come out pretty good.
Yeah, I was doing that for a minute on the Lone Star, dude. I would just let that fucker go, dude, and no stall. It just cook right through the stall and take it all the way to 207. I usually take mine to 207, and dude, they'd come out fucking money. Like
And sometimes I'll hit that stall. I'll hit that stall in the vault, and it'll be like a fucking 2 hour stall, and I'll be so mad because I just want to go home because it's so hot. But I mean, there's nothing you can do when that stall hits. It's gonna break. When I've even called Jaime Garcia, my buddy, I was like, Jaime, how long does it normally take for a stall? He's like, man, it's gonna break when it breaks, man. But yeah, it's just when it happens, it happens. The thing I noticed, like when I'm cooking on the sniper. If I put anything on that bottom rack, it's going to take forever. And then usually my stalls take forever on that bottom rack. So I'm always constantly rotating them whenever I'm cooking on the sniper with briskets.
So are you moving the briskets from the sniper to the vault, like in the middle of the cook, or you just whatever,
No,
just cooking
the
whatever.
top on the sniper, the top rack is always going to be your hottest. Then you got the middle rack, which is probably going to have your even, and then the bottom rack is always cold. So typically, what I'll do is I'll put the top briskets after about maybe 4 hours. I'll put those on the bottom. Then I'll move the ones in the middle to the top. So I'll just like kind of like a carousel them. When I do finish the briskets on the vault, if I have time, I'll wrap them and then I'll transfer them from the sniper to the vault. That way I just finish them off on the vault, because like I said, once you get that vault up there in the 300s, 400s, that shit ain't
going nowhere.
Yeah,
it ain't going nowhere.
It ain't going there. So you might as well take advantage of it and use it, for the heat.
Yeah, that's what I was telling Tyler the first time that he cooked on it. And Tyler's just one of our buddies, and he was like, man, he said he couldn't get that vault up to temp, and he said, man, I hit it with a blowtorch. I said, well, you probably fucked up there, because your temperature is going to keep rising, and once you get past that point of where it needs and it's still going, I said, you're done, dude. Like
yeah,
you're done.
Even when you burp it, and just try to leave it open for a little while just to kind of bring it back down. As soon as you shut that door, that thing is just going to jump. It's going to spike.
Yeah. That's the way my Lone Star runs. It's the same way. But so I'm cooking on a large vertical Lone Star, and man, I've tried all that, and dude, you can hit it with the torch, and sometimes like if the metal's not heated up right, it's the temperature's going to drop, and you're kind of all over the place. So I'm able to get mine up, in 10 or 15 minutes, and I'm pushing, 250. Man, at that point, I'll just close it in and just let it do its thing. And then
a lot of times, what I do on the vault is, I put aluminum pan trays at that bottom, where the grease trap is, and I just put some water in there. That way, it keeps some moisture into the chamber. And then it gives it all that shit will just drip into the grease trap into the foil. That way, you don't have a lot to clean, man, because you know how it is. Shit gets messy. I sure in the hell am like getting dirty and cleaning all that shit. I try to keep it as high clean maintenance as I can.
Yeah, and especially if it's full. If it's full, then it make a big freaking mess. Kyle had a question. His questions come up quite a bit in our little chats. But what do you think of the brisket juices dripping down on the other ones, and how are you managing that?
So I get a lot of questions asked about that too. They're like, oh, well, doesn't it pool on the top of the other brisket? Well, that when I trim my briskets, I kind of trim them to where they are like, rounded, where if they do drop on there, it's going to drop right off of them. I get very little pulling on my briskets because of the way I trim them. And I make sure that thing is flat at the bottom, that because on the vault, I cook them fat side down. Fat side up. I'm sorry. But like I said, the way I trim them to where whatever's going to drip on that top of the brisket is just going to fall over to the next one and fall down. So I get very little pulling on my briskets.
Okay.
So if you're cooking on the vault, and let's say you're going to cook 6 racks of ribs and 4 briskets, you're just going to put all the ribs on one side and the brisket on the other to keep the fat from dripping on each other?
Well, I usually try not to cook like that, or else I'll have, I'll have a line of, the briskets on one side, and then I just put the pork on the other side. But I try not to keep I do all my briskets with my briskets, and then I'll use like the sniper to do the ribs and stuff, and the turkey or whatever I have to do.
Makes sense. Smoky Rebel. Let's talk a little bit about Smoky Rebel, man.
Smoky Rebel. That's one of my new ventures and one of my babies, man. Me and Bill Dumas are partners of Smoky Rebel North America, which is a company based out of Kent, England. So I last year when I went to the Smoking Fire Festival, it was funny, man, because I went out there and the promoter didn't get me a room. They forgot to get me a room, and it was cold. When you go in August, it's fall in England, so it was cold, and I'm sleeping next to a 500-gallon pit because I had some pork butt on, and I had a beanbag. Sleeping on this beanbag, and it's cold as hell because I didn't have no jacket because I didn't take anything. And these guys walk by and they're like, "Mate, what are you doing sleeping on the floor?" And I'm like, "I ain't got no room, you know." He's like, "Man," he goes, "you look cold." I'm like, "I am cold." So he bought me a poncho, you know. I was sitting out there and I was talking to these guys and they're like, "Man, we got an extra tent if you want to stay in the tent." I'm like, "Fuck yeah." So I ended up staying in the tent with them, and we, you know, got up the next day and we were cooking and we were on the fire stage where, you know, we're actually doing demos. And Smokey Rebel was in charge of the demo stage. So we're there, and I'm talking to these guys, and they had this rub and they were telling me about it. And I was like, "Well, yeah, you know what? I put it on the pork belly. Let me try this. It's called Hickory Hog. It's a real good rub." And I was just in awe of this stuff, you know. When they approached me and Bill, you know, to become co-owners of the company here in the United States, you know, I told them, I said, "Man, doing a rub company is like bringing sand to the beach in Texas, you know." There's just, the market is saturated with all kinds of rubs, you know, and what we have to have something unique and something different that, you know, is going to catch people's attention. And we thought about how we're going to design this rub or what we're going to do. And the one thing that we have going for us is our rubs are all natural. There's no additives, no preservatives, no anti-clumping agents. So our rub is the freshest you're going to get it until you pop this can open. So, you know, this is the large can, and then we have a smaller can. And I wanted to go with a smaller can here in the United States because, you know, as pit guys, we buy rubs, you know, and we'll just use it for one application, and that shit goes in the damn pantry, and then it gets all clumped up because of the humidity, and we don't use it. So I figured, hey, let's go with the smaller can. That way the average Joe can go to the store, buy it, use it for what he needs, and then he runs out, you know, he's going to go back and get another one. So that's what we designed these smaller cans. And man, Cherry Force was my blend that I created, and we launched it in England right before May the 4th here in the United States. And dude, the reviews we've been getting for this rub in England has just been phenomenal. So, and then I launched it in May the 4th at St. Arnold's Brewery here in Houston, and I had a real good reception for it. So yeah, I'm hoping that this rub helps us out, and you know, we can do something different. We're not targeting the competition cookers. We're targeting the backyard cookers, the guys that just want to enhance their meats and give it a more flavorful profile, you know. And that's what we're doing with the Smoky Rebel line here.
Nice. Are y'all gonna have all the whole line?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, we're are in talks with the co-packer. They have all our samples right now. We have a canning machine that's actually going to get shipped to the States, where we'll be able to can it, and we're going to have all the lines. We have a barbecue flavor rub. We have chili, which is just hot spices, and then we have flavor rubs, which are there you go right there. So yeah, we have the different lines. So once we get those all going, we are talking with Central Market right now. We have samples at there's a couple British stores here. I'm trying to get the chopping block to carry them. You know, anywhere I could get them. There right now, you can purchase them at Schultz's Pit Room. Schultz's Pit Room has a whole supply of them.
Nice. Let's see if I can find.
Man, I got a question for you. Who made your guys' caricatures or little cartoon characters? Man, that thing was badass, dude.
Well, the cartoon characters are all designed by the owner, by the creator, which his name is Russell. And as a matter of fact, every character on the cans have, you know, they have their own story. You know, there's like the SPG one with the dinosaur. What's because his kids like Jurassic Park, so he went ahead and did that one. They have the clucking the Chipotle chicken. The chicken is designed as John Wayne because him and his grandfather used to watch John Wayne episodes a lot, so they did that. My rub is actually a Jedi because I'm a big Star Wars geek, you know. So they went ahead and designed mine Cherry Force. So my can is like a Star Wars themed can. Bill Dumas is, you know, it's got his sausage. He does a chili rub, and it's got his sausage sensei logo on there. So yeah, every rub was thought out and it's designed. It has a meaning to it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's catchy for sure. I mean, the design of it, the whole can, it's different. You know what I'm saying? Not just in a shaker.
Oh yeah,
you know
and that's the good thing about it. Like I said, the can, if you open it up, like I said, it has the knob. It's like a beer can, and once you pop it up, that's the freshest you get it. My cherry rub has all natural cherries. It's a cherry powder. It's not artificial cherry. We had to source that in England. It's so hard to get cherry powder. And even here in the States, when the co-packer was telling us, hey, we could just use artificial cherry, the owner was like, no, it has to be. So we're going to have to ship the cherry powder from England over here so they can use it to create this rub for me here.
Is that the only ingredient that's being shipped from the UK to?
Yeah, that's all they have, because everything else, the co-packers have. They don't have to. Okay. They don't have to put the additives and the preservatives. We're telling them not to do it, so they don't have to do that. But the cherry powder, because you can't find cherry powder, natural cherry powder here in the United States anywhere. And I got the reason I designed the cherry rub was because I love cooking ribs. I learned how to cook ribs from Mark Lambert. And, Mark Lambert showed me a lot of stuff about how to do baby backs and how to do spares and stuff like that. And I always just liked the way cherry tastes. Heath Riles has a cherry rub that's really good, man. And ever since I had that one, I was like, man, if I ever can do a rub, it's going to be a cherry rub. And that with, I use Daigles. Still, Daigles is a company that a lot of people were using at the beginning of competitions whenever I was doing them, but they're not, they don't use them a lot anymore because of Craig Sherry and Wizard and all that. But I still use great Daigles, and they have cherry glaze, and they have the cherry sauce. So you put all that together, man, the right way, you can make a rib taste really good.
So the Smoky Rebel line, when are y'all anticipating, hitting it, getting?
So, like I said, we have Smoky Rebel right now at Schultz's. So they do have the entire line at Schultz's Pit Room in Seguin. Once we get the second batch of testing out from, we're actually using a company in Deer Park. Once we get that batch back to England so they can do the final approval on it, and once we get the machine here to do the canning, I would say probably I'm hoping for October-ish for it to be starting to be put out. But we've also got it out to all the retailers. So, we have Central Market testing it. And then once they approve it, they'll put it into Central Market all over Texas. And then if it goes good within a year, then we'll get launched into, the 400 HEBs that they have. So nice. It's going to take some time. Yeah. But we're working on all that. And it's just a lot of red tape. Like if we were to have it shipped, tariffs right now are up the ass. And, that's what's killing us. And that's why we started talking about getting it co-packed here instead of having it shipped over there from England over here.
Yeah, well, it's definitely unique. You know what I mean? As a consumer, if I didn't know anything about barbecue and you went to a spice rack and started looking and said, "What's this?" You know what I mean? It's different.
Yeah. Well, I definitely have to get y'all addresses so I can ship y'all some samples once I get another shipment in. I'll definitely get y'all some so y'all can try it out, man.
For sure. Oh yeah. Well, speaking of England, don't you got a little trip coming up too?
Yes, man. We are going back to England to the Smoke and Fire Festival. I have Memo de la Fuentes from Monterrey, Mexico coming with me, and Jaime Garcia from Jaime Garcia's barbecue company. He's actually going to make the trip with me. But we're all going to be on the fire stage again over there with Smoky Rebel and just, showing these wankers out there how to cook Texas barbecue.
That's funny. You're gonna be using Smoky Rebel, or what do the people like over there? Just salt and pepper.
Yeah.
Is that what they think? Salt and pepper.
Well, England is one of those countries where a lot of their food is bland. Even though they they opened up the doors to a lot of the spice trades back in the day, because a lot of the spices went through England. The basically the international dish of England is curry, because there's so many different curries places out there. But fish and chips and any other, banger sausage, and they're nasty. They're bland. There's no flavor to them. So what Smoky Rebel did whenever they started developing their rubs, they just wanted to do something where people can put a little bit more zang to their meals and the meats that they were smoking. So that's why they created the lines out there, and they're doing pretty well. We get a lot of good reviews from the consumers that are buying it over there, because over there they have a full-blown store. They have online presence where they're selling the cans online. So yeah, they're doing very well.
Nice.
Doing very well in England.
Do they have any barbecue joints, like Texas
style
barbecue joints over there?
As a matter of fact, they do. There are some barbecue joints in England. At the Smoke and Fire Festival, there will be barbecue, trailers and setups out there selling barbecue. When I went last year, I was impressed, man. I mean, everywhere I go and where you see the presence of barbecue being, done all over the world is just amazing, man. And like I said, we are what influenced them. They want to be just like Texas. Russ, my buddy Russ from England, he wishes he was a Texan. He just loves to do barbecue out there in England, and that's everywhere, man. When I went to Hong Kong and seeing these people in Hong Kong barbecue and in the Philippines, and it's just, man, barbecue it's a worldwide thing that people don't realize that it's out there, but it is.
Yeah. So I was telling the guys earlier, it's like the barbecue culture is spreading. The Texas barbecue culture is spread. It's just like, the Chicano culture in like Japan, right? You see a lot of those guys,
the lowriders.
The lowriders and stuff like that. So is that the way you kind of see it now going as far as Texas barbecue goes?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, these guys, if I were to do master classes in England, I guarantee you I could sell them out, because like I said, people want to learn how to do brisket. They want to learn how to do ribs. They want to learn how to do chicken. I mean, they're like sponges, man. They want to learn. When Bill goes out there and does sausage classes, I mean, these people, he sells out sausage classes because these people want to learn how to do it, and it amazes me every time I go places and people ask questions. I love teaching barbecue, man. I love being in front of people, telling them, how to do this and how to do that. I'm not one of those people that, that hold back and tell them, hey, I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to give you my full recipe. I'll tell people exactly how I do shit. The thing with
still got to cook it.
You still got to cook it. Exactly. And I can tell. And if you tell everybody how to do brisket one way, by the time they're done, they're going to do it another way anyway.
Right,
you ask 10 people how to do brisket, you're going to get 10 answers of how to do brisket, and that's what I tell people. So when I go out there and I have the opportunity to sit there in front of people and show them how to do barbecue the way we do it, it just blows my mind. I have a class next week that I was going to do at the restaurant for Center Point Energy for a team building thing. They come in there and they just love, everything that we do, showing them how to, and what I do in my classes is hands-on. So I give you a fucking slab of ribs. So the whole class gets a slab of ribs. They pull the membrane, they trim the ribs, they fuck them all up, but they get a chance to do it on their own. Chicken. Oh man, they mangled all the damn chickens last time. But they get the hands-on experience of how to do that. So like I said, I know how to do it. You know what? They went back to Center Point and said that was the best team building that they ever want, and they scheduled another one for next week. So, when you give people that opportunity to put their hands on product instead of just sitting there in front of somebody and they're telling you what to do, it's a different way of showing people how to do barbecue, man. And like I said, I love it, man. I wish I had the opportunity to just travel all over the world and show people what we do here.
Yeah. No, go ahead. Go, Kyle.
When you go overseas, like England or Japan or anything like that, they're trying to cook similar to Texas. What kind of fucking wood are they using? I mean, like
That's
I'm running pecan and oak, right? Like,
yeah. And
that
that's
shit
the
over
thing. Those a lot of those countries don't have those woods that we have. So we have to use whatever's closest. I know in England you can get oak. When I cooked in the Philippines, I had to cook with
bamboo.
eucalyptus. No, it was eucalyptus wood, which was really sappy, and it gave the meat like a really sappy, taste to it. But that's what they know, so that's what they love out there. So you just have to learn how to adapt, and cook for what they want, not for what you want. It's like when we go to South Texas and people use mesquite. I don't like mesquite, bro. That shit, I burp that shit all day long, But people love that. They love that flavor. And when you go deep in Mexico, people are using mesquite, and it's you just have to adapt to whatever wood's available in the region that you're cooking at, man. And when I was in Australia, they use a wood called iron bark, and man, this fucking wood is like a rock, and it's red as fuck, and it burns hot, but it's just weird. It's a weird thing. It's called, but you look it up. It's called iron bark, and that's
Is it clean? Is it a clean burn?
Oh, it burns clean. Yeah, it burns clean, but it's
interesting.
weird. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So, yeah,
I just got a bag of, well, I didn't get it bagged, but the bag's there of that. What is it? African? What the hell is it called, Kyle? African.
I don't know.
It's like the African charcoal company.
You called it Mufasa piss or something.
Yeah, it's Mufasa piss charcoal. Love charcoal, dude.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, people who cook jerky, that smoked jerky, it's not real, Jamaican jerky if you're not using that wood. What's it starts with a P. Unless you have that wood, it's not Jamaican jerky. It's not Jamaican, But yeah, it's just like I said, it's whatever wood is available wherever you're cooking, man. Like I said, I cook with a lot of different woods, and it just amazes me, man, the way people cook. How I love going into Mexico. I had the opportunity to go over there and cook at the Grill Meisters, and they open flame everything. They're just they're not using. They use Weber's on every. That's what they cook with is Weber's. They're just barely getting into the barrel pits and drums and stuff over there, but everything's open flame cooks. In Mexico, go to Puebla, go to Costa Rica, and especially in Monterrey. But yeah, man, the way barbecue is influencing these guys, and we'll get a lot of them in just for the top 50 being dropped. They're all gonna. This is like the mecca for them. And they'll all come over here just to run the 50 list and try to hit up as many restaurants as they can while they're here.
Yeah,
there's actually a company came last week to my place, and they do barbecue tours from England. So they'll get like 5 or 6 people. They set up this tour. They fly them over here to the United States, and then they pick like 4 restaurants or 5 restaurants that they go to around. Like Truth Barbecue. I know they went to go talk to Truth Barbecue. They went to San Marcos, and then they went into San Antonio. But yeah, they'll bring these guys here, and they'll just take them to barbecue spots, and they just want to come and try what we're doing here.
Interesting. Yeah, we had Brendan Lamb on the show not too long ago, and
Brandon.
He was telling us about that. About what was it? There was a place in Mexico that y'all went to that made some of the best barbecue that he had over there.
That is Nomada barbecue, bro. Fajad and Chewy out there at Nomada in Monterrey, man. Those guys there are so badass. Is that Louis?
Yeah, Louis.
Yeah, so they have a restaurant that's actually 2 stories, and they had to get a crane to put their 1,000-gallon pit on there. Actually, when Daniel Vaughn went to Monterrey for Monterrey Barbecue Fest, he went to that restaurant and named them one of the best restaurants in Monterrey. Wow. You have Nomada, which is my top 5 barbecue restaurants in Monterrey would have to be Nomada being number 1. Oh Jimmy's would probably be number 2. Northeast Barbecue, number 3. Ladies Barbecue, and then Smokin Jose's. Smokin Jose's would probably be my fifth one. But yeah,
and that's all in Monterrey.
That's all in Monterrey. Yeah.
Wow. So they got a big influence over there too, huh?
Oh yeah. Old Jimmy's. If you go to Old Jimmy's barbecue in Monterrey, it's like walking into Texas. I mean, you walk in there and they have so much Texas memorabilia. It's just like walking home. And they do it authentic. I mean, everything that we're doing here, they're doing it over there. They use Post Oak. They got a Lone Star beer when you walk in. It is just Old Jimmy's is good. Now Nomada is going to be it's going to be your little pricey, like high class barbecue, but they have an awesome setup over there. And then if you don't want barbecue, right across they actually own a seafood restaurant where you can go have, and they have like some of the best pulpo in Monterrey that I've had.
That's awesome. We do a little segment on this show. I don't know if you've seen the show before, but we talk about I can't even. Sam's not freaking on, so he can't explain it. But what do we call it? The dream team, right? It's four guys, 4 pit makers, whatever, pit masters, anyone you wanted to. Your list of 4 people that you would want to take you to a big contest, or just people you want to cook with. It's your team, right? Yeah. So we call it the dream team. So it's a team of 4, and then you have a box runner. So what would Smokin Willy T's dream team be? And it could be anybody. It doesn't have to be competition. You know what I mean? Just people in your crew that you will take with you anywhere. It doesn't matter. Shit.
Yeah,
somebody that influenced you.
Well, one of the persons that would definitely be on my team is Jaime Garcia. That's my brother from another mother right there. Me and him been through a lot of competitions. We've done a lot of things together, and he'd definitely be one of my dream team guys that cooks with me. Another one would be Ernest Cervantes. I knew Ernest whenever he was in the circuit, doing competitions barbecue before he opened up Burnt Bean. So I know him, I know him really well. And when he first started and how he started and everything that he sacrificed to get where he's at right now. So he would definitely be on one of, my dream team. I would have to pick Memo de la Fuentes from Monterrey, Mexico. That guy there is the Caprito King. He's won the Grill Master. Yeah, he's won the Grill Masters twice for Cabrito. I was actually on the team whenever we won, and he's a ride or die. He's one of those pit masters that doesn't get a lot of respect. There's a lot of us out there that don't get the respect or recognition that we deserve, and he's definitely one of those. So he would be
nice
on my team. My 4th person. Let me see. It would be probably Janice Melicu from Canada. That little lady right there is a world champion. She's about the smallest, tiniest pitmaster you're ever going to meet, but man, she can cook some shit up. My box runner, that's a hard one. I don't know who would be my box runner.
We just say Dumas with his. Let's
put Bill Dumas, man. He can run the box with a sausage rope around his neck.
with his Nacho Libre fucking mask on.
One of his damn outfits. We did Texas Monkey one year, dude, and he dressed up like Elvis. That shit was so funny. Because I was actually, we were actually in the same room together. And I woke up and fucking Bill Dumas is with his Elvis suit on the bed. He's like, Willie, do I look like Elvis? Fucking Bill.
He's am I dreaming?
Yeah. Well, dude, when we were in Australia, you should have seen him. He had some Daisy Dukes on with the little cutoff shirt. Oh, that shit was funny.
Dude, box runner for sure.
Yeah. And I'd have him in the little Daisy Dukes with the cutoff shirt too.
That's awesome, dude. That's fucking awesome. So what's next? What's next for Willy T, man?
Well,
I know we talked about some stuff earlier.
Yeah,
but...
man. I've literally been blessed, man, doing what I love to do, man, and not a lot of people get to claim that. A lot of people work their asses off at jobs that they probably hate. And John Brotherton once told me, man, he's like, how many of us get to do what we love to do every day and go to work and be happy? And that's something that stuck with me before he passed away, because John and I were really close, and we used to do Camp Brisket and barbecue camp at Texas A&M. And late at night, whenever we were cooking briskets all night long, we'd have a long talks, man. And one thing that I want to do is I want to open up my own spot. I want to get a trailer, or find a small brick and mortar and do my barbecue. Because like I said, there's a lot of us out there that don't get the recognition that we deserve for all the work that we put in, man. Just because my name is not on the building don't mean I'm not back there sweating my ass off on the in a pit room cooking barbecue for somebody else. I work hard, and I work with Pinkerton, I've worked with Tin Roof, I work with Laurel, Aaron Franklin, and Tyson Cole's Place, and then where I'm at now. I put in a lot of work, man, to put out the best barbecue I can for the people that come in and eat. Even when I left Laurel, before I left to go where I'm at now, I put my 2-week notice in. I could have been an asshole and said, you know what, I'm not gonna work here no more. No, I worked the 2 weeks all the way, because until I leave that door, the barbecue that's coming out of that place is mine. So, I'm not going to leave them high and dry or anything like that. I'm going to cook until the last day and the last minute and put out the best barbecue I can, because that's what I am. That's who I am. This banner that's right behind me right here, Operation Barbecue Relief. These people right here, they changed my life about how to give back, helping people in need and doing things, disaster relief. Whenever Harvey hit Houston, we were set up in downtown Houston and fed 378,000 people, day in, day out, just cooking barbecue, man, making sure people that got hit and, lost their homes, that had a hot meal to eat, and that woke me up, I give my time to a lot of organizations. I mentioned to you, the barbecue saved my life. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I've been sober for 15 years, but I give back. I do a lot of stuff for Alcoholics Anonymous and people in recovery, youth people, anybody that needs help, because that's what I learned. If you're not giving back, then you're not being blessed. The more you give back, the more you're blessed. So that's what I do as much as I can. Anybody that needs a hand, I'm always there. I don't ask for anything. I don't ask for payment. I just want to do what I do, and that's cook barbecue. So
that's awesome, man.
That's all we can do. I always say barbecue's life, and if it isn't life, you're probably not, you're in the wrong field. If you're not gonna go out there and start a pit at 4:00 in the morning and sweat your ass off all day, and then maybe you're in the wrong business. You're not, made out to be a pitmaster, but we're a different kind of breed, and you're either gonna love it or you're just gonna hate it, man. And I love it. I love everything I do, man, and I'm blessed.
Yeah, like me, I can't get up to go to work on time, but shit, if I gotta wrap a brisket at 4:00 in the morning, I'm fucking out there at 4:00 in the morning wrapping a brisket, right?
Heck yeah. That's how competition, man. It's like that competition. You're gonna be there early to start those pits and get ready. Yep. Yeah. I never had the opportunity or was lucky enough to meet John Brotherton, but it sounds like from everybody that talks about him, and he's a barbecue Yoda. It's kind of what I kind of get from it. He was, man. I mean, like I said, he listened
helped
there.
A lot of people.
He helped us out a lot. I mean, there was a lot of times that I was struggling still, and I always had John to talk to. That's why I got a few of us got the same initials all on our knuckles, which is John motherfucking Brotherton, and that man there, I miss him dearly, man. I wish I can just hear his voice, and just say, hey, man, give me some advice. But I already know what he's gonna tell me, man. It's like, if you're not doing it and you're not, trying to make a name for yourself, then then you shouldn't even be doing what you're doing. And we're blessed. I'm a blessed person to be able to travel all over the world. How many pitmasters do you know out there that fucking been to 7 or 8 countries and barbecued? And I've been to every major competition in the United States. I've been to the American Royal. I've been to the Jack. I've been to Memphis in May. I've been to every competition in Texas. Houston Rodeo, OBR. I'm a 2019 world champion. Mark Lambert, when we won the world championship there, he came up to me. He's like, "Hey, Will," we were all crying and shit. He's like, "Will, how does it feel to be a world champion?" And I'm like, "I don't know." He's like, "Well, you know what? You're a world champion, and nobody can take that away from you, dude." I'm a world champion, bro. People win championships for baseball and basketball and football. Fuck, I'm a world champion in barbecue. And it's great. It's great, man. That I have the opportunities to do the things that I do. And I can't ask for anything more.
Awesome, man. I'm looking forward to it, man. I think it's about time. That, like you said, you just do your own thing and shit, run it. You know what you're doing. So how does he say it in America? Blood in, blood out. Life's a risk, and now life's a risk. Gotta know. Yep.
Yeah, it's like, man,
exactly.
you're either gonna jump off or not. And that's the hardest thing for a lot of people. When I got into Smokin Rebel, it was just like, man, am I gonna do this? What if it doesn't do good? Well, shit, I'll never know if I don't try. So it's like, let me see what I can do. Let's see where it goes, and just pray for the best, man. The good old Lord, He listens. It might not always be what you want at that moment, but He listens and He blesses you. And I truly been blessed.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I'm the same way, dude. It's like you either do it, shit, or get off the pot, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I can always go back to that shitty job at Walmart I was at, and long hours and no holidays and all that shit like that. But man, I get to do what I want when I want, and that's the best thing.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to see what Willy T has in store for us. Waiting for the Smokin Rebel stuff to hit. Can't wait to try it out, and it'd be awesome.
Heck yeah, man. Like I said, I want to get y'all some samples. So as soon as I get another shipment in, I'll definitely shoot some y'all way, man. I really like for y'all to try it out. Give me some feedback on it.
Hell yeah, definitely. When's this UK trip going on? When you headed out?
So we leave August. August the 12th and come back. We'll be there for a week. So hopefully this year I'll be able to do a little bit more than what we did last year. Last year was kind of get on the plane, go straight to the festival and just, not get to see much. This year I want to, we got to go around London and look at, man, it's just so awesome. It's beautiful over there and going overseas. But I want to go to Stonehenge, and I just want to see shit. The cool thing was when we were in Malden, somebody's like, "Oh, you're from the United States." I know they asked Bill. They're like, "You're not from around here, are you?" You know how Bill is.
No, I don't think so.
Like, yeah, we're from the United States, and they're like, "Oh, George Washington's great grandfather is buried here in Malden," and we're like, "What?" So we went to the church, which is an old ass, like a medieval church, and we got pictures with George Washington's great grandfather. Wow. His tombstone and stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of history over there for sure.
Oh, it makes our history look like man, like nothing, dude. I mean, it's so old. It's just everything everywhere you go is just old.
It's awesome.
So yeah, we'll be doing that. I'll probably head out to Chicago for the 4th of July. Go see family out there. I wanted to go to the Windy City Smokeout. That's another thing that I want to do. I'm originally from Chicago, so I was born out there. We moved to Texas in '84, but one of my goals is to go to the Windy City Smokeout and actually cook out there. And say, hey, I think it would be great media to say, oh, here's a guy that was born in Chicago, came to Texas, learned how to cook Texas barbecue, and now is cooking over here at the Windy City Smokeout. And so, yeah, that's one thing I want to do is the Windy City Smokeout.
Well, I'm sure you can find somebody to bring you on.
Oh yeah. Well, I know Heritage is coming. Daniel from Heritage in California is coming, and I had the opportunity to go out to El Capistrano and go to his event that he had one year with Robert Sierra and a bunch of other guys, Bill Dumas. Actually, Bill almost got us kicked out of the hotel for dunking somebody in the pool on the forklift on the crane for the handicapped people.
Bill sounds like a rock and roll freaking rock star fucking barbecue dude out there.
We were in Monterrey, Mexico. At a soccer game. And this motherfucker took off his shirt and ran in the soccer field. I mean, dude, it was so funny. We thought he was going to get his ass beat.
He's the one y'all got to watch out for.
Oh, yeah. And then one year we were at the Monterrey Barbecue Fest, and they had a wrestling ring in there. And that motherfucker went in there and challenged the lucha, and he got his ass knocked the fuck out.
Oh shit, man! Sounds like a good time.
Man, it's so fun every time I get to go out with these other guys and just do different things, dude. We always have a blast, man. And that's what it's about. It's about having a good time. It's about family. I've met so many people. They're all barbecue. I call them my barbecue familia now, and they're just always gonna be there. You have those people that take advantage of you. I know a lot of them fucking shady motherfuckers out there, that just use you for your name recognition, and then it gets them where they're at, and then they forget about you, and it's a shame that it happens, but it does happen more often than you think. And I'm sure y'all seen that out there in the barbecue world.
Yeah, for sure.
Just the way they are, man.
Yeah. That's why I just stick to my own, man. Just do my own thing and see where the trailer goes. If it goes somewhere good, if not, then I'll sell the fucker and be done with it, right?
Yeah, so, yeah. That's all you can do.
Start crocheting or getting golf or something. No, the barbecue's not going anywhere. So, well, cool, man. Well, Willie, I appreciate you coming on, and we'll talk again, dude.
Oh yeah, sure. Man, definitely, man. I appreciate y'all and giving me the time, and I hope your viewers out there got some insight about what barbecue life is, and what we do in the competition side and what we do in the restaurant. It's two different animals. The only thing is, the thing that joins both of those together is being consistent, and putting out good product, whether it be for a judge or whether it be for your customers, man, because those are the ones that you got to make happy. If you want to get those trophies, you got to please those judges. If you want to get those lines, you got to please those customers.
Yeah. Awesome. Well said. Well, cool. Kyle, you got anything else?
No, man. It was good to kind of listen in and hear what you had to say, and like you said, I don't know many people that go all over the world doing this stuff. So, I mean, I was just having a conversation with somebody the other day, and we were talking about a barbecue joint. I'm not going to name it, but he tells me, yeah, the barbecue over there is usually pretty decent. And I said, man, I really like going there. And he's like, well, why? Is the barbecue's all right? You've been to all these top 10 joints and yada, yada, yada. It's not always about the barbecue itself, right? It's a lot of times it has to do with the atmosphere as well, right? So it's kind of, to hear you say how much fun you have going overseas and, doing all these events with your friends. And that's how this podcast started, right? Just a couple buddies or 4 buddies that barbecue together all the time and always hung out and always talk shit on the side, right? We just enjoyed talking, being around each other, right? And to me, that's what barbecue is, right? It's not just about the product you put out is a big deal, but I mean, there's a lot more to barbecue than just the protein itself, right? So it's good to hear to see how much fun you're having with it, right? All the good friends that you've made, whether it be big names or small names, right? They're good friends, and barbecue just go together.
Yeah, because the way you got to see it, man. Every Saturday, you're gonna be, if I'm at a contest competing, you're my competition. You're the person that I'm trying to beat, and I'm the person you're trying to beat. But in the overall aspect of it, we're all friends. We're doing it because we love it. And if you're not doing it because you love it, or you're just doing it, and you're gonna get pissed off every time somebody beats you, then you're in the wrong hobby. because you're not always going to win. There's always somebody better, somebody younger, somebody more, hungry than you are. That's always going to, is always going to try to do better than you. So I got it to the point that, if I walk one Saturday, or, if I walk, if I don't, that's just how it is. That's just how the cards play out, man. And when I'm at the restaurant, and I'm cooking barbecue for customers, I have to think about, all I want to do is please my customers. I want to make sure I got a smiling face on them because they had a good brisket, or they had a good ribs, or whatever I'm serving them, because I don't need that negative review just because they thought something wasn't good and I didn't take care of them. And it's all about taking care of our customers. I hate that motto that says customers are always right, but sometimes you just have to make the customer happy, and it shows for it, man. When you do, then normally they'll write a good review about, hey, well, he took care of me, he made me feel at home, and that's how it's supposed to be, man. And I think a lot of people, they lose that in their restaurants. They don't give that customer that, all they're worried about is the long ass line trying to bring in money, and doing barbecue like a assembly line.
Yeah.
And they lose that what the barbecue restaurant was about, and it's about bringing people in together and having a family meal, because barbecue back in the day was a poor man. It was a blue, like Ernest said, it was a blue collar meal for the blue collar worker. And now look at where Aaron Franklin took it. It's because of Aaron Franklin the fucking brisket prices are so high, but he created an empire, and he created what is called craft barbecue, and there's no stopping it. It's just going to keep on evolving. And if you don't evolve, then you're just going to be stagnant, and you're not going to move, go forward. And I think that's what a lot of the barbecue places do. They stay stagnant. I told you at the beginning of the podcast, there's 2,500 registered barbecue restaurants in the state of Texas. Texas monthly only goes to 119 of those. So there's all those other barbecue places that don't even get recognized that are probably even better than what's out there right now.
No. Well said, man. Well said. So, anything else, Kyle? You good?
No, I'm good, man.
All right.
Appreciate you coming on, though.
Willie, appreciate you coming on. If you want to stick backstage for a little bit while we close out the show, and we'll close out the show, and I'll catch up with you in a little bit if you want to. If you want to hang out, you don't have to.
Oh, I ain't got nothing. I'm good. I'll hang out.
Cool, man. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Willie, and where can people find Smoky Rebel if they want to start looking around for it?
Right now, Smoky Rebel is at Schultz's Pit Room in Seguin, Texas. Once we get it, start getting it put out here, then we'll probably go on an online store. I'll put it on the social media, so you can reach me at Smokin Willy T on all platforms. And once I start posting it out there, then you can start ordering it, and we'll get it shipped to you. So just be on the lookout for it. It's coming soon.
Awesome, man. Well, cool. Well, good luck, Willie, and on your ventures, and safe travels, and man, go represent.
Thank you, man, and thank you for having me on. It was a pleasure.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Just me and you, Kyle.
Just me and you, bro.
Oh man, it was a great show. I knew Willie was gonna be a good one, man. I heard him on Rob's show that one time, and I've been following him ever since. And I was like, man, this dude's fucking for real, dude. He's OG, and he lives it. You know what I'm saying? He lives it.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good to catch some of those. I don't know if you caught some of those nuggets, but I was kind of listening in on how he was doing that restaurant style brisket compared to how we cook it, right? Backyard or competition. So just listening, catching on to some of that stuff. And I think it's cool shit, man. It'd be badass to be able to travel across the fucking globe, right? To cook barbecue and hang out and meet new people and try some fucking iron bark and shit in my fucking
some Mufasa piss lump.
New Mufasa piss lump, yeah.
Well, cool, man. What do we got next week? Let's see.
I don't know. We don't have the secretary to tell us.
So next week is a good one, man. This dude, he's killing it, dude. He's in the heart, like he's in the middle, he's in the trenches. You know what I mean? Ben Lambert with J&L Barbecue out of Austin, Texas. He's a pitmaster. He runs his little barbecue joint, you know, out of a little trailer, just him and his wife. But he's killing it, man. He's putting out great product, and I talked to him, you know, about coming on the show, and he's like, man, let's do it. So he's excited to come on, and we're excited to have him on. So hopefully, I did check with him the beginning of the week, and he said he's down. He's ready to go come on. So we'll meet with him and see what's up with J&L Barbecue out of Austin, Texas. So
yeah, I mean, I think we started the show out, you know, fucking 44 episodes ago, you know, kind of aiming towards that competition world, and I think it's kind of cool. We're starting to bring in some of these restaurant guys, right, to kind of talk about what the other side of barbecue looks like, right? I mean, yeah, we're out there cooking for fun and spending money to do it. Sometimes we win, sometimes we don't. You know, we kind of run off of luck, it seems like sometimes. But I think it's badass. Now we're starting to bring in some people that are, you know, big names out there, I guess you would say, in the restaurant world, and you know, chefs, pitmasters, whatever you want to call them, right? So I'm excited to see how we're moving, you know.
Yeah, like we talked about earlier, it's not so much, you know, competition versus restaurant. I mean, it's barbecue, right? It's the barbecue life, and it's the culture. You know, whether, you know, some of these guys who have never built a box before in their lives, but they're cooking fucking, you know, 30 briskets a day on a 1,000-gallon offset. You know what I mean? Putting out product, and you know, that's their life as well. You know what I'm saying? They're living it too. So it's a culture. It's a cultural thing for sure.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying it's exciting to kind of see, you know, 44 episodes in, kind of where we don't necessarily have a direction, right? We're just kind of all over the place, bringing in people that we like to see, and they have great things to speak about, and, you know, picking up some nuggets here and there, and, you know, just like I say, sharing the fucking. It's just barbecue, right? We're sharing the barbecue love and the barbecue community, right? And barbecue community is outside of competition. It's outside of restaurants, right? It's just fucking barbecue.
Yeah, all the way to the person, like Willie said, people that don't get recognition, you know what I mean, but are damn good cooks and know what they're doing. So
yeah, for sure.
Well, cool, man. Let's end this one, and we'll catch up again next week with Mr. Ben Lambert out of Austin, Texas. So
sounds good, homie.
Cool, man. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for Willie and everybody else who logged in and check out the show, man. We appreciate it.
Peace out, buddy.
Cool. Thanks.
This is Parrish Randall, and this concludes this episode of Beyond the Smoke. Thanks for stopping by, friend. We hope to see you again real soon. Until next time, happy trails. Until we talk meat again.